I would now like to introduce Mr. John Joe Cullen, who will read a letter sent by Jack Dunphy to his brother in Castlecomer in July 1914. And this will be followed by another letter by Father Gwynn, a Catholic chaplain, and his experiences in the trenches.
Later on, the minstrels will appear on the stage here. Front and centre of those minstrels will be a man called Jack Dunphy. He'll be waving a big stick at you. This is a letter from his uncle, just before the First World War. Dear brother, I received your most kind and ever welcome letter this morning. I'm sorry to say I will not be going home, as on Monday we will be under orders to mobilise, and some of our battalion are going away to Southampton to guard some of the ports. So you need not expect me home. The war depends on Russia. If they fight, we will fight with them, as Germany will go again. I am not a bit afraid, and I would like to go out to the battlefield. We had medical exams before active service, but it may be all over in a few days. I hope you will not be angry with me for not putting a stamp on this letter, as we are not allowed outside of the barracks. So will you pay for the stamp and don't have mother pain? We are expecting to move away from here any time now, and I will let you know when I am going. I now enclose with love to you all at home, your loving brother Jack. The next act here from the Limerick leader of 1915 regarding Father John Gwynn. Father Gwynn was a Catholic chaplain at the front. It was very good of you to write about my wound. It is nearly all right now, thank God. I had a very narrow escape, and I know it's prayers that saved me. It was the day that the Irish Guards took the brick stacks and trenches at Givenchy. I knew they were going to attack. I knew there would be a number of casualties, so I kept very near. Our bombardment of the German positions began at exactly 2 p.m. I had a splendid view of it. It was simply appalling. Shell of every kind, shrapnel, high explosive, percussion rained on the German positions. At 2:15, the Irish Guards went forward, and as they fixed bayonets under cover of a ridge, I could see the sun glancing and sparkling off their steel. In the meantime, the Germans began a heavy shelling of the rear of the Irish Guards to prevent reinforcements coming up. Several shells burst very near where I was, but I was not touched. The last thing I remember was seeing the guards go to the top of a ridge when a lurid red blaze seemed to flash into my eyes with a deafening crash. I was hurled back some 5 yards or so and lay unconscious for some minutes. When I came to, I felt my face all streaming blood and my leg paining me. I was suffocating too, with a thick, creamy, vile gas which came from the shell. The doctor bandaged me up, and I found that I was not so bad. Splinters of shell just grazed my face, cutting it. A bit also struck me an inch or two above my knee and lodged inside. But in an hour's time, when everything was washed and bandaged, I was able to go and give extreme unction to a poor Irish guardman who had been badly hit. Luckily that night we came out of the trenches and got a day's rest. Although I was sick and dazed for 2 or 3 days, I never had to give up. I am writing this in a little cellar or cave under a graveyard. It is about 150 yards from German lines and 80 or so from our own. You would laugh if you saw the furniture. The main thing and most important is a bundle of straw in a corner where I sleep at night. Everyone here has a cellar or a dugout, and the Germans are continually shelling us. As I write this, they are sending over big shells known as Jack Johnsons or Black Mariahs. One has just fallen 20 or 30 yards away. If it had fallen on my little dugout, well, I'm afraid you would never have got this letter. When in the trenches, I see a wounded man immediately he's hit. I give him the last sacraments. Then I hear the confessions of the men in the trenches, in their posts or dugouts. I tell you, it is contrition when the air is simply alive with bullets and shell. On a day we get rest, we go back a little or so from the firing line. Then I say Mass in a field for the battalion. We have to have Mass in a field, as most of the Irish Guards are Catholic, and we are at present the largest battalion. The men then sing hymns, and it is so fine to hear nearly 1,000 men singing out in the open at the top of their voices. You have no idea what a splendid battalion the Irish Guards are. You have Sergeant Michael O'Leary, VC, with you. I often had a chat with him when he came to see me. But do you know, there are plenty of men in the Irish Guards who have done as bravely as O'Leary, and there is never a word about it. A young officer was here at my dugout the other day, an officer of the Grenadier Guards. He went out, and just at the door he turned back exclaiming, "My God, I'm shot!" And so he was. He fell and was dead in half a minute. It is curious when men are brought vividly and really face to face with death. God is all they want. Pray for me. If anything happens to me, pray for me. I often think they will get me. I am off now to hear the confessions of No. 3 Company, Irish Guards. They are about 100 yards from me, and it will be dodging behind walls and risking it in the open to get to them. Every day comes with a strange event for me. At 12 o'clock last night, I was called to a man shot through the throat. I was with him immediately. The poor man was perfectly conscious, but could not speak. He spoke by signs. I heard his confession and gave him extreme unction. At breakfast, a note was handed to me that a Coldstream Guardsman had been shot in the head. I started off at once, a Coldstream orderly with me. It was a cold, bleak, muddy morning. And when I got to the place, I found the poor fellow was lying in the open at the back of our trenches, in a very exposed spot. The Germans were no more than 70 yards away. I crawled out flat to him, and he was still alive. I gave him the sacraments. He was unconscious, and I crawled back again. The Germans had shot at me, but missed badly. Of course, they were afraid to take long aim, as our men were firing all the time. As I made my way along the trenches, an officer came shouting that one of our men named Ryan had been shot and wanted to see me. I found the poor fellow had been shot in the lung. I heard his confession, gave him extreme unction, and saw him off to hospital. When I gave him extreme unction, it was amazing how cheerful he got. He was badly wounded. I hope he gets through. Today, Wednesday, as I was saying Mass in an open field, a shell burst a short distance away. The men did not stir. This morning I saw Ryan, the Irish Guardsman, shot in the lung. He had a narrow escape. He said to me, "You can tell the Germans, Your Reverence, that they are not done with Joe Ryan yet." Joe Ryan was born in Urlingford and died later that year from his wounds. Father John Gwynn died from wounds on the 12th of the 10th, 1915, aged 49 years.
Thank you, John Joe.